Namaste and welcome everyone. I hope you are all safe and well. As we go through this time of unprecedented uncertainty and anxiety, Desh Videsh Media Group and Florida Fine Arts would like to brighten your day by bringing Ni Dha Pa Live, Sur Sangam, directly to you in your living room. These weekly episodes will feature music video performances by incredibly talented musicians from all over the world. These performances will include diverse Indian musical genres such as Hindustani classical, semi-classical, bhajans, ghazal, and Gurmat Sangeet. The episodes will each feature a different musician or group of musicians presenting their vocal, instrumental, or percussion talent. Also included in each episode will be a short, exclusive interview with the performing artist. Please also visit the website sanidhapalive.com to learn more about these artists. This entire project has been put together in less than 2 weeks, and we are grateful to those who have volunteered their time and expertise. All those wonderful volunteers will be mentioned at the end of this program. If you are a performing artist or someone with experience in music video editing, we would love to hear from you. Please visit the website sanidhapalive.com and click on the volunteer button to give us your contact information. This is a 100% volunteer-based project, and we could use as much help as possible. So, sit back, relax, pour yourself a cup of chai or your favorite drink, and enjoy the program. So joining us today is Sanjana Chandran, who at 17 is already a very accomplished violinist. Sanjana, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being a part of this first performance.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Of course, yes. So for those who haven't had the pleasure of listening to you play before, would you mind sharing a little bit more about yourself, how you got interested in music, and especially why the violin?
I was always interested in music from a young age since my dad was a musician, and I'd always be surrounded by music. My dad being a violinist, I always felt that violin was meant to be for me. I would always listen to my dad teach other students until one day I picked up the violin, and my love for violin grew as I realized how versatile the instrument was and how well it mimicked the human voice.
Today I'm joined with Rajesh Bhandari, a very talented percussionist who is well known by those in the South Florida community. So welcome, Rajesh. Thank you for being a part of this show.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So for those who don't know much about your music or haven't heard you play before, tell us a little bit about how you began your musical journey. As I understand it, you first developed a love for music when you went on a trip to India with your father. Is that right?
That's correct. This was many, many years ago, over 30 years ago now. But yeah, so we went to Delhi and we found nice instrument, tabla, harmonium, and sitar. And then came back to New York and found a teacher actually from Delhi University who was based in New York. And I started studying from young age, age 8. And his name was Pandit Ravi Deen Ram Samuj.
Very nice. So how, since that time, I guess, what type of training have you gone through and how have you really developed your art as an artist?
Well, I've studied with a lot of masters since that point in time. Pandit Samir Chatterjee, Pandit Anindo Chatterjee, Ustad Zakir Hussain, and many, many others as well. And I've accompanied many artists over the years. So I've learned a lot along the way, too, of trying to have the stage experience as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first song will be Payoji, Maine, Ratan, Dhan, Payo, a famous Meera Bhajan, performed by Sanjana Chandran on violin and Rajesh Bhandari on tabla. So, what kind of training have you gone through then? And, how many years have you been playing? I think you also had an Arangetram, is that right?
Yeah, I started learning violin at the age of 6 in Carnatic style of Indian classical music. And after a few years, I picked up and I started learning the Western classical style. And despite like the multitude of differences between the two styles, there were various techniques that I picked up on that I incorporated into my Indian classical playing. I also started exploring Hindustani Indian classical music recently, and by mixing the nuances of the three different styles, I would create new music and compositions.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you're creating some of your own music and playing
Yes.
around with all the different styles. So that's great. So what advice would you have for other for young folks who are interested in maybe not just the violin, but any type of music and any type of vocal or dance? Just what they should do if they wanted to make it something more than a hobby and really hone in on those skills.
Yeah, I believe that the world currently needs creativity and solidarity more than ever to solve our present issues. And artists, like any type, are uniquely positioned to provide both. There's currently a lot of mental stress due to the economic, health, and social challenges we are currently facing. And with artists coming together at this time, we can provide an outlet for people to forget their stresses.
Yes, for sure. And I think doing this during this time, many of us are stuck at home. We might be worried about our loved ones possibly getting sick or getting COVID-19. And so this is definitely a wonderful way for people to enjoy music from the comfort of their living room and just sort of take a step back and enjoy the moment a little bit. So thank you for being a part of that. That's certainly to be able to put a smile on someone's face or just take them away from their stress is certainly something wonderful, and we appreciate that. What do you hope in particular that everyone listening will take away from this performance?
Well, I hope that listeners can learn from this performance that social distancing doesn't have to prevent a person from spreading their message or their art form. Like through these technological platforms, one can use these resources effectively and communicate and spread their message.
Yes, definitely. We are very thankful in these times that we have all of this technology available to us. We certainly, wasn't always the case, and it's wonderful that we do have this now, where we can still stay in touch and still enjoy music performances like this one. So, thank you again. We really appreciate you being a part of this. Thank you for taking some time to speak with us today.
Thank you.
So you mentioned some of the greats in the industry, Ustad Zakir Hussain and Srimati Lakshmi Shankar and even Shakira. What is it like getting to play with such renowned musicians, and what have you learned from those experiences?
Well, it's a blessing, really, honestly, and I feel very lucky and blessed to have those opportunities. And there's so much to learn in those experiences. There's no words. Each experience is its own journey, an adventure too. So you're going to be humbled and learning a lot along the way, But you just have to be patient and enjoy it, enjoy the moment, and try to soak up as much as you can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. So maybe tell us a little bit more about what you're doing today. I know you had been teaching for quite some time, and now you're working on some other projects. What can we expect to hear from you in the future?
Definitely. Well, I definitely have solo project going on. That's always constant, and but I do have duo and trios and all of the kind of ensemble stuff that I've been working. Of course, things have taken a break because of the pandemic and all. We're all on break, but I think hopefully soon things can be getting back to up and running. And but also my website, rajbtabla.com, as far as updates, as far as any potential news, as far as performances or scheduling of any content coming out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. So how have you been spending this time? Have you been creating some new music? Do you feel maybe being at home, do you feel inspired in a different way than you are when you're out with others?
Definitely. I mean, well, it's you know, being at home, there's more time for a lot of things that to be done at home, practice, but also focusing on recording some new stuff and coming up with some new ideas and working on collaborations in a distance with other artists too. So this is an example of that. So yeah, it's looking forward to all the things coming along the way. Yeah.
Yes, no, technology, I think we wouldn't have been able to do this, even just a few years ago, I think. So it's definitely, even though we're all stuck at home, it's giving us these other opportunities, I think, to grow and try new things. So it's great.
Absolutely.
So what do you think, why do you think it's so important for artists to come together like this? And what do you hope that the audience will take away from this performance?
Well, you know, I hope they find some simple joy, some simple pleasure in their day to hear music. You know, it's not in the live setting, but it's definitely live to some degree because we had to do those takes. But I would say, yeah, I hope also separate from people the experience of music and art and the appreciation of it, especially being separated from it now. We can't go to the movies, we can't go and see live art. It's nice to be able to have it at least in your own home as someone sent it to you in that sense. And as far as collaborating with artists in this context, it's great because we also have to learn how to be more creative of how to try to get the most out of the idea when we're not in the same room. So some of that inspiration might be lost, but we have to find a new inspiration by being away from each other. So that's always, I think, is stimulating for the creative mind too. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, yeah, no, definitely. I think we're all learning and growing in this time, and we appreciate that you take the time and give us a little moment of joy, and we can sit back and relax, and that's definitely, hopefully, will bring some happiness to those listening. So, thank you so much for being a part of this, and we really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
The second song is Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, another famous bhajan that was made popular by Mahatma Gandhi and performed by Sanjana Chandran on violin and Rajesh Bhandari on tabla. wonderful performance. We thank our inaugural artist, Sanjana Chandran on violin and Rajesh Bhandari on tabla for being a part of this program. And we thank all of you for registering in overwhelming numbers for this event. If you want to watch this event again, or if you want to share it with family and friends, please visit sanidhapalive.org to watch the video. More importantly, please use the Contact Us form to provide us with suggestions and feedback. If you enjoyed the program, please be sure to forward information about the show to your friends and family. And for more information about registering for the next program, participating as an artist, or becoming a volunteer, please visit the website. Join us next Saturday on April 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the second program. The program will feature one of the most talented Hindustani classical and semi-classical vocal artists in the United States. Have a good night, be safe, and wash those hands.